Good evening and welcome to Midnight Movie Club. In tonight's video we will be breaking down the first trailer for A Quiet Place Part 2, so let's get right into it. Right off the bat we are met with Day 1, the day these extraterrestrials arrived on Earth and began purging life as we know it. We see Evelyn in the car with Noah while they play about with the radio trying to figure out what is going on as there is a mass panic all around them. People are scattering everywhere, cars are pulling out all over the place, and the small town looks like it's under attack. Then something else that just confirms that this is back in time, the camera pans to the back seat where we see Bo, poor wee Bo who dies at the beginning of the first movie. I was really not expecting this at all from the trailer or the movie in general. I didn't think they would go back and show us how it all began. I doubt we'll spend too much time in the past though, and these may be quick flashbacks, but it will be nice to get a sense of how chaotic things were at the start of all this. I know a lot of people after the first film said they would love a prequel. Well, this is probably the closest thing we'll get to it. Really looking forward to seeing these scenes, that's for sure. Anyway, the action carries on and we see a creature fall from the sky onto a car in front of Evelyn's. It looks like they are not holding back at all with the creatures this time round, as they are on full display a lot in this trailer. Which is a good thing, we've already seen them in full in the first movie, so no need to hide them now. Get them in amongst it, wreaking havoc. Anyway, as Evelyn tries to get away, she is met with a bus coming straight for her. As she tries to back up her car, we see the bus coming towards them with a hole in the windshield that has a creature's arm crawling out of it. I thought that was a real awesome shot. This whole Day 1 sequence looked brilliantly shot. John Krasinski once again flexing those directing chops. Really happy he returned for part 2. Also, just to note, when Evelyn starts speeding off, it sounds like Noah shouts, "That's Dad," but in the confusion they lose sight of him. So I'm wondering if Krasinski will be in these sequences at all, these flashback scenes, or if he will be split up from his family at first, meaning we won't see him. Or they could pick him up here just after this sequence fades to black. Who knows, looking forward to finding out. Anyway, moving on now, we see Evelyn, Reagan, Noah and the baby leaving their farmhouse after the events of the first film's finale. We can see as they walk through the farm that the barn that they cooked and had dinner in, also where that basement was, the mattress over the top, is now on fire. Then the next shot we just get a nice lovely wide shot of the Abbotts leaving the farm. We see the silo in the background leaving the events of the first movie in the past as they pass through the fields on the sand trail. So I'm just guessing they are leaving the farm because it has become too unsafe now. That basement is all flooded from the first one and now the barn's on fire as well. Also, maybe those 3 creatures that were in the area weren't the only 3 and now more will come. Or it's just burning down and they couldn't save it. I'm still wondering if we'll see them take on those other 2 monsters we've seen run into the farm at the end of the first. I really hope we do, and that's how the film kicks off. Anyway, in the next shot we see this new industrial area again that we've seen before in the poster. As they try to enter they have to pass through a small gap in the fence, but there is a booby trap waiting for them. Now at first I thought this was maybe a trap for the aliens, but it is definitely for other humans, as it is only there to make noise. It will alert whoever is living here in this new area and the aliens to someone trying to come in. I'm just wondering why someone would do this and basically send any random passing through to his or her death. Obviously whoever made it has major trust issues. Anyway, once the trap is sprung, Evelyn and the kids run, and as they do we see them being watched through a sniper scope. The sniper obviously sees that this is a young woman with 2 kids and wants to help them instead of letting them being killed at the hands of the aliens. As they run through these abandoned warehouse buildings, we see the sniper reveal himself as he grabs them to keep them quiet. As he does, we see another alien begin to crawl down the wall after them. It does look like we're going to get a lot of aliens in part 2 and I'm so down for that. Fingers crossed they give us some great moments with these creepy monsters. I wasn't the biggest fan of their design in the first film. I felt like they could have done more with them, but I'm still excited to see them and excited to see if they can do anything new with them. And it also actually looked like Noah was limping and being helped by Reagan before they were stopped by the sniper, but he was running fine in the shots before, so I wonder if he steps on glass or something like that. I don't know if I can handle more foot trauma though, because the first one with that fucking nail, that shit was hard to watch. This new character then says to the Abbotts, "I don't know why you came all the way up here. There's nothing left." He then sees the baby in its box and is astonished. Then he removes his bandana and we see that it is in fact Cillian Murphy's character, the one setting all these booby traps, and throughout the trailer he doesn't sound like the most hopeful person, so some bad shit must have happened to him to make him like this. I suppose the baby will maybe give him a sliver of hope for the world going forward. We then hear Evelyn counter that with saying there are people worth saving, as we then see two bridges filled with empty cars jammed up along them. As far as the two people in the bridge go, to me it looks like Cillian Murphy's character and Reagan, but it could be a new character with him, but I do think it is Reagan. I just wonder why they two go off together. We then see that they are in some sort of bunker looking room that looks pretty well protected and soundproof. Noah is laid up in the bed while the others sit around, so I definitely think he is injured somehow. Then all of a sudden we hear a voice say, "Is anyone there?" over the radio, while Noah is listening. Then we see what looks like an awesome chase sequence through this industrial estate with an alien bursting through something coming straight for Evelyn, the baby and Reagan, but getting chased and running with that baby box. Cillian Murphy's character then emerges from water with what looks like a claw of one of the aliens around his neck. It could be a knife, but I think it looks more like a nail that belongs to one of the creatures. We then see him with this other character again, who I think is Reagan, coming across what looks like some sort of community. This part of the trailer had me a little bit baffled. Is this just after the invasion starts or a while into it? The house have lights on as if everything is normal and nothing is happening. Maybe the aliens haven't reached here yet or something like that. What I'm thinking is when they're in his industrial bunker setup, Noah contacts this community on his radio, and then Reagan and Cillian Murphy's character head out to find it. Reagan was always wanting to go out with her dad in the first, but he never let her. He wanted to take Noah instead, but since Noah is obviously laid up in bed rest, it's only Reagan who can go out with Murphy's character, and Evelyn's going to have to stay back and watch the baby. So that's what I think happens here. Murphy's character then says, "You don't know, do you?" And I wonder if this is just him telling Evelyn that there's nobody else left and the world is completely gone, or if he was telling them about some other threat. We then get a real cool shot of Reagan in a train that has had a hole clawed out of it, and all this visual world building is just so cool. That's one of the things I liked best about the first film, and I'm excited to see more of here. Anyway, we see more of this community that Murphy's character is at, except this time it is under attack, and it seems like the aliens have spread to wherever this is at now. I wonder if he's the sole survivor of this attack, although if Reagan's there with him, I'm sure she survives as well, or they might get split up. It looks like maybe they were having a picnic or something, as everyone's kind of chilling out in this park area, but we see a guy get swiped by an alien with blood going everywhere, so it definitely doesn't go to plan. Then we just get another shot of the inside of the barn burning down, the reason they probably have to leave their farm. In the next shot we see another new character played by Damon Hounsou. Sorry if I pronounced that name wrong, you may know him from Never Back Down. Great film. I reckon he is either another person from this community Murphy's character is at, or someone he meets along the way when he's escaping it, because you see them speeding off together in a panic. But he does look quite clean cut and as if he's had a shower in the past few years, or whatever long it's been, so I do think he's from this community that looked like it had a nice wee setup. Anyway, after that we see them put two young boys in a closet and telling them to be quiet, and something about Hounsou just screams evil. Look at the way he's death staring that kid. We then see Reagan with Murphy's character again, so I'm sure that it is her who found this community with him. Except this time they seem to be in some sort of facility having to hide. In the next shot we see an alien's arm smash through a door behind them and almost grab them. This is just before we see Murphy clamber back into his bunker like hidey hole. Then after this we end the trailer with Noah on the ground looking hurt, Reagan armed with the radio microphone and amp and obviously her hearing aid, and Evelyn lifting and cocking the shotgun again. I believe this will be just after the booby trap. Since Noah is down, they have decided to fight instead of run, and it is nice to see them using the same technique they used at the end of the first film. Then, just as the trailer closes, we hear Murphy say, "The people that are left are not the type of people worth saving." thus opening the door for villainous human characters. I wonder if some of them will come from that community that looked kind of untouched for a time being until it was attacked. I did like that they didn't explicitly tell us the villain and who will be evil in this, and just showed a lot of the alien action, which was what I was hoping for. I really just hope they don't go too far in the whole evil human thing like The Walking Dead did. I've mentioned this before, and the fucking aliens will just kind of be in the background and being a bit of a nuisance. I just don't want that. But all in all, a really good trailer in my book, and I'm looking forward to this one. Hopefully it's a great continuation of the first. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, then give it a like, and if you haven't already, subscribe to join the club. As always, thank you very much for watching, and good night.